And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the True Patriot Outfitters podcast. It's me, Gene, and we have a super cool episode for you folks here this evening. Tonight's episode brought to you by the All-American Kayak Series and the Romans Warrior Foundation. Tonight, folks, we have none other than Mr. Boothe joining us, Mr. Joshua Boothe, founder and tournament director for the All-American Kayak Series, and close personal friend of the All-American Josh and all of us, Mr. Jay Harman is here with us, and we're going to go ahead and get both of those guys in here right now. Let's see here. Mr. Boothe, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
I am peachy. What's happening, Jay?
Hey, sir. How are you this evening?
We are doing pretty good. How about you?
Hey, living in the dream.
Hell yeah. So, as most of you know out there, we started kind of just literally to a lot of folks, it kind of came out of the blue. It was following up from a post, Jay, that you had posted out there, letting folks know about a challenge you're working with right now. And so there has been a big online tournament covering like the entire Midwest of the United States that has been created, that everybody is getting an opportunity to jump in on. We thought, Josh and I were talking, what better way to introduce folks to a guy that is so revered and loved around the kayak fishing. Those that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, this is going to be their opportunity. And you have been so gracious enough, Jay, to agree to jump on here and chat and tell your story, brother. And this is, dude, thank you from all of us. We appreciate this.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. Thank you. If I can help anyone else, it's my dream, So.
Well, I got to tell you, man, Josh has told me some just freaking amazing stories. And like I said, I got a chance to meet you at the Classic last year. And your welcoming nature, you're there to help any and everybody out around every corner. And that has been the echoed statement, is that talk about a guy that would do anything for anybody. That's Jay, man. And so seeing how many people have reposted this tournament online has just been hitting me. Josh, when you were setting this thing up, did you have a feeling this was going to be the response, or is this kind of caught you by surprise too?
Yeah, I had a really good feeling. I knew that Mo Yak would really step up and want to help Jay out, because he's been, the cornerstone of our club for years now. Every award ceremony, always there helping with the raffle tickets, getting guys checked in, helping some new guys out, with rules and stuff like that. He's always been there to help out. And so I knew that everyone was going to be ready to go to help Jay. What did surprise me was that how it's like spread across the country. And we ended up getting so many requests to open it up that it's now a national online tournament. Anybody in the country can sign up and fish this. And there's people from New York, all the way across the country that are signing up. So that's pretty cool to see that the kayak community is still, the same community that we fell in love with the sport. They stick together. They take care of their own.
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps just hearing you talk about this. This is why I'm so hell-bent on the kayak community. I'm still relatively new, a couple years in. But, man, this kind of just people just joining together. Jay, what's that feel like, brother? I mean, that's got to be awesome to hear, right?
It kind of makes me shake. I get to shaking all over. But, it's one of those things. It's just me. I've always had a big heart. And, it's like I see our brothers and sisters coming back for check-in. And it's like, I'm the guy that, heck, I'm a hugger, man. Come here, buddy. I don't care if you're sweaty, so.
Josh told me you're a hugger.
Yeah.
And Marines, if there's hugging, it's just to carry something. Well, that's awesome, man. We talk about it a lot, right? And there's a lot of things that people say, but when you see it in action, man, when the boots, are on the ground and you see it unfolding right before your eyes, it really stamps it home. Kayak fishing is still a grassroots effort out there. It is still a very, we're the fastest growing in the sport fishing industry, but we're also not, so far, we've not outgrown our roots. And that is what I absolutely hope during my time here and then the next generation after, that we maintain that, because this kind of support like this, coming out of nowhere and just bang dropping down. But Jay, and that's it, it goes to the heart that you're a good dude, man. You're a good person in your heart. You're a good person by your nature. And so to see people resonating with that, Lord knows there's not enough of that out there these days. So this is one of those things that this is the right reason. This is the right kind of person. And so, yeah, 100%. I can tell you if the TPO was bigger, we'd be doing a lot more. We're still a very young, tiny little, little nonprofit, but we're definitely going to make sure that we'll use all of our channels that we have out there to keep posting this thing around for sure.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
So let's get into this. Let's talk a little bit, and let's kind of, if you're okay with this, Jay, let's just talk about what is it that you're battling right now, brother? What has transpired?
Probably better to say what am I not battling, but I've battled through 5 major back surgeries. But probably the biggest challenge I've been faced with over the probably 5 or 6 years now is Parkinson's disease. It's pretty rough,
And it's Parkinson's is an autoimmune, correct?
Yeah, basically your brain is not producing enough dopamine.
Gotcha.
And so, it's such a hard disease to control, because you can take, they give you, it's a medication called carbidopa, levodopa, and it's basically dopamine.
Right.
You can get your levels good, but any stressful moment, and then your levels are off. So you have a lot of ups and downs with this disease.
Oh man, right, and it affects a lot of the motor skills, the hand-eye coordination piece, making sure that we've got feet in the right place at the right time, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, and that's something I did just probably recently. I should have probably done it sooner, but I have this thing with doorways. I get to the doorway and I freeze. I kind of reach out and grab the doorways now, because I kept hitting my head on the doorways or not wanting to go through them, but. I took some of that blue painter's tape and put on the floor and all my doorways, and it's really helped.
Oh, nice.
Get your mind looking at the floor and your feet, and kind of that coordination. So, yeah, right. Absolutely.
And the fundraiser that we're doing here, that's being that so many folks are joining in on. This is the target that we're going for here. Is kind of something for the future, or is this something that we need right now, which is that electric wheelchair?
Yeah, I mean, my neurologist and my movement disorder physician sent me to I guess a more advanced movement disorder doctor, and he kind of heard about the kayak fishing for sure, and he says, yeah, you're not doing that anymore. But about a week and a half ago, I fell really bad and I fractured my eye socket, and black and blue my face up, and my wife said it didn't improve my looks. But I had fat lips like Angelina Jolie for a while, so I kind of looked, I thought I looked good. But
Angelina Jolie's the first thing that came to my mind when I looked at you, brother. I mean, that's what I thought.
Oh, thank you. But, and that's when he basically said, look, we need to move. If you're out in the public or you're going out, to go, I need to get in a wheelchair, and a powered wheelchair, because I was hoping just get in something to roll around. But unfortunately, like you said, with the hand and your brain, it's just not communicating it. At least with a powered wheelchair, you can get some type of independence or freedom back.
100%.
So that happened in the last 2 weeks, and they set up an appointment with a therapist to kind of fit you with the wheelchair, and that's coming up. I think it's September 8th. It's that first week of September, and I got stressed. Of course, it's not. One, you get knocked in the shorts and say, "Hey, you can't kayak fish," but now you got to go to a powered wheelchair, and it's like, how do you afford that expense? It's already, our medications alone is our medical system's broken. That's for sure.
And then some, man, and then some.
It's
how much do you have to pay a month in medications?
Oh gosh, Josh, I don't know that I've ever added it up. To be honest, I take. It's like 15 different medications. I take 43 pills a day. So,
Jeez.
Good Lord, brother.
Yeah. So it's a little rough on the stomach. So,
yeah, I bet. No, you're right. I mean, our health system has been broken for the longest time. You got idiots out there talking about reform this, reform that. How about you make it so that an aspirin isn't $52? Then we can start there, and then start working our way around stuff.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, So I got real nervous, and I kind of reached out to Josh and I said, "Hey, I got to go ahead and just sell the kayak, sell the lash scope, just sell the trailer. I got to get some money for the wheelchair. I mean." I don't want to give up. I mean, I still want to kayak fish, but it's just not safe by myself. And it's just, it gets harder and harder and harder when you get that 4 or 5 a.m. to get out there at the ramp. And it's, and if I'm falling more, I definitely don't want to be on a slippery ramp. So.
No.
Or falling out of your kayak either.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. No, that's this deal here, you're going to be able to hold on to your gear, brother, and and then you do what you want to do with it when you're ready to do with it, because it looks like Josh, do you have an update where we're at so far with this thing?
I haven't checked it yet today, but as of last night we were breaking $3,500.
Hell yeah.
Well,
hell yeah.
And we still got some more contributions coming from some more sponsors that are coming on board. Feel Free Kayaks is going to make a huge donation. That's a big announcement coming from them soon. So that's all going towards this as well.
That's awesome. I haven't signed up for it. I'm not going to be able to fish it, but we are absolutely still going to sign up for it.
One thing I do want to mention, though, that on the registration process for this tournament, the entry fee is $75, and all of that is going towards this fund, to try and get Jay into a chair. Tourney X has waived their fees. I'm not charging anything for it. The only thing coming out of that's PayPal, transaction fees. So yep. I put in there an optional donation box that people could sign up for if they wanted to donate more money than what that $75 is. And as of last night, when I added that up, there was $1,000 that was extra donated on top of the entry fees from anglers that just wanted to give extra. So
hell yeah.
I'll probably put a list together of everybody that's donated and try to give everybody credit for what they're doing. So we appreciate everybody that has donated so far.
This is
I definitely want to give everybody a hug. Sure, yeah. You gotta get a hug out of it.
Man, and that's it is it's warming, it's calming, it's reassuring that there's still some hope for humanity out there when I see, this much blue collar America, the way we take care of our own out there. And that is, dude, that feels so awesome to see that. I was just saying that I'm actually going to be driving back from Mined Lands on the 10th. I'll be on the road coming back to Colorado. Romans Warrior Foundation, we have our Global War on Terror Wall of Remembrance that's set up here, a big event going on at Thunder Mountain Harley Davidson. So I'll be on my way running back here for that. But we're still gonna TPO still gonna sign up and make sure that we get our little donation in there as well to make sure we're doing our part.
We still got a long ways to go, though. I want to throw that out there. We have come flying out of the gates and have raised a lot of money really fast, but those chairs are not cheap.
Nope.
And also, to go along with that I didn't really realize at first, but I was talking to Jay about the other day is, the lift. You got to have a lift for that chair to put on your truck and your vehicle to transport yourself around with. And those lifts, they can cost almost as much as the chair itself. So we're going to try and get as much money raised as possible to contribute to that. But we are going to really start beefing up the prize packs. We're going to be doing some raffles as well as giving prizes to the winners. Z Pro lithium batteries, they've come on board and donated two batteries of your choice. So anglers will be able to pick out a battery and have it shipped right to them. Fishing Online is going to be making a donation. Feel Free Kayaks is coming on board. I'll wait for their announcement on that. Anglers in Action for Christ, they're donating some tackle packs. I think 10 tackle packs for the top 10. Robo Hawk Tethers, they're going to be donating some gift cards. Crocagator Bait Company, they're donating, I believe, two $100 gift cards to Crocagator. We've also got Ace Adventure Resort. That's out on the East Coast, but they're giving up a whitewater adventure package that's pretty sweet to somebody. So we'll probably raffle that one away too. And we've got more coming in as well. Feel Free, they're donating a $250 gift card, $150 gift card, and a $100 gift card as well. So
wow,
they keep coming in, and so we really appreciate the support from our sponsors and the companies that support the kayak community.
that is huge, man. That is super, super huge. Jay, we were talking about something offline, and I wanted to kind of revisit this because I thought it was really cool. For folks that are unaware, one of the most prolific actors through the 80s, he was very, very well known through the 80s, is Michael J. Fox. People have seen him now, on social media, see him on the TV all over the place. He has become a big spokesperson talking about and educating people about Parkinson's disease. And Jay, I asked you offline, how much has his work and the messages he's put out, has that helped at all? Have you been, watching that? And I loved your response to that. So I'll ask the question again. What kind of influence, is his vocal and very public, view of Parkinson's and how he's exposed himself to, the public view as much as, the guys in the spotlight? How much has that helped?
Tremendously, and I've looked at quite a few of his stories. I've read quite a few books. One of my favorite books he put out is a book called Always Looking Up. And that's what I do every morning. It's like just, hey, I'm up and, face the world. And he just recently came out with a movie about his life and dealing with Parkinson's. It's called Still. And it was pretty amazing, and most all of us know somebody with Parkinson's, and it's even my wife made a comment, as it started to progress, when we go out in public, she can spot patients with Parkinson's without even knowing their story.
Wow.
But yeah, it's amazing what he has done for Parkinson's and research with this foundation and everything he's done. It's just, yeah, absolutely.
And that helps, man, right? I mean, when you have someone there that's that visible that you can see that, it's day by day. That's what we do. We take each day just as it is, and you take each situation. And when you have something like that to gauge from, that's helpful in the fact that you're not alone, brother. You're not alone whatsoever. Yeah. This also, with the All-American, generating this shows you how many people love and care about you and don't even need to know you personally to love and care about you, and so that's got to help, right? I mean, having somebody out there that's showing, kind of leading the way.
Yeah, I probably messaged Josh, at least 10 times saying, I'm blown away. It's like, and he says, well, you're deserving, and it's like, it's just, again, it's just me. I'm the kind of guy that's just, I get out there, I battle the tournaments, and, Josh and I were fortunate to come to La Crosse a few months back and fish Bassmasters. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to have that trip.
For sure. Yeah.
And it'd been a long time since the two of you got a chance to get out there and compete together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because for those of us that weren't aware, Jay, that you went with him up there with that, for those of us out here, we were just happy to see, the old cowboy back in the saddle again, seeing Josh out there, doing what he's doing. And so, yeah, when I heard that you guys, were out there fishing that, I'm like, oh, that is super freaking cool, man. Love hearing those stories like that.
Yeah, and Jay got a good limit each day, too. He ended up kicking my butt in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but believe it or not, it's, and Josh and I had talked quite a few times before that, and I was actually, I'm not going to kid you, I was a little down. I was feeling, it's like, I was feeling alone, and that's hard to battle through sometimes. But Josh says, "Come on out. The room's paid for. Just come on out." And but doing that tournament was probably the best fishing I've done before my Parkinson's has advanced to where it's at. It was like, well, just use that shaky head, just more, buddy.
Hell yeah.
It's like I told Josh, a long time ago, I said, I got it on my fishing shirt. It says Jay the Shaker Harman, and it's like, it's even got a dang ring to it, Need to patent that one.
We're gonna get you a hat. It's all in the cadence, right there. That's so. I'm just going to ask this because shaky head, has that been a style that you actually have used in the past?
For sure, yeah.
Nice.
That Ned's and baits, absolutely.
A lot of people forget about the shaky head, man. I absolutely love it personally because it's like it's the bigger version of the Ned, in my opinion. I drag the heck out of a shaky head. I can suspend a shaky head at a certain water column level. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. So one of the things we were talking about, brother, was, with the True Patriot Outfitters Romans Warrior Foundation, helping is healing. What our objective in the veteran community is to provide different methods and alternative methods of helping, these warriors, these war fighters in our communities. And a lot of the stuff that they work with is PTS, anxiety, depression, just general mental health well-being, transitioning into civilian life. That is a very, very difficult thing, especially for combat vets to try to accomplish. And you shared with me the fact, this was even more so the fact that you're part of this family. Your family members were veterans and had their own battles and so forth. You've had firsthand experience with this kind of stuff. So with your comfort level, share some of your family's history there, and only to what you're comfortable with.
No, and that's the thing. I've never been afraid to share my story because we're all have our own battles in life, and not that mine is worse than the next guy, but if I can share that and maybe help in some way, I absolutely love doing that. But awesome. My father was a sergeant in the Army, spent a lot of time in Vietnam, and unfortunately, he came back. We talked about PTSD, and and Josh and I have talked about that. But PTSD not only affects the soldiers, the men and women that are out there fighting for us, but it affects their family.
100%.
And my father came back, after serving, and took his life in front of me when I was age 5. And it's sad to say, but even at 50, I believe I'm 56 years old. But that's unfortunately the only thing I remember about my father.
Right.
You see that bad, but I also see that as a strength that made me a stronger person. I had another brother that came back from the military and he took his life. I lost my mother when I was like 15, I think. Lost a child. So we go through these battles, but it's, so say that PTSD or depression or, and then you add on, 5 back surgeries and Parkinson's and I know it's not good to look at, but sometimes you do think about what's the next shoe to drop, so.
Sure. Man, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to be very unpolitically correct about it, but the very fact, what you've gone through, what you've seen, and the fact that you continue to use it as reasons to fight, to spread love. You are a hugger, Jay. I mean, and the fact that you have impacted this many people, everybody that you come in contact with out there, is a testament to the fact that I would never be a great counselor because I get tired of hearing people use things as crutches left and right.
Yeah.
I resonate with you in the fact that I too did not know my biological father. What I knew about him is he gave me exactly what I wouldn't be as a dad. You know what I mean? It's like, that was the example you gave me. See you later.
Sure.
But the fact that I just can't even fathom some of the things, the stories you've just said there, because I've never lived those, so there's no way I would know that. But brother, what a testament to just a gold heart and soul that you are, man. The way you've impacted so many people. Thank you so much for just being, like you say, just being you. Thank you for being you, brother.
There's a lot of times you think, well, what if I could change things, would I? And I'd like to think I'm a pretty good man, these days. And do I always do things right? Probably not. I guarantee you, my wife would say I don't. No, I appreciate it.
Dude, you're a man among men. Trust me. There's no doubt about it. 100%. This is and it goes right to it, folks. Like Josh said, we're barely halfway there just on the chair alone. So keep checking out that tournament out there at the All American. Go out at Tourney X, you'll see it there. That was something, Josh, talk about that. I mean, seeing Dwayne from Tourney X, I mean, we've loved Tourney X. Out of all the options out there, Tourney X just continues to try to make things better for all the kayak community. But he didn't miss a beat, dude. The moment he saw you doing what you're doing, he's like, "Yep," and you can just see our fee's gone. We're donating all that straight in. We're not going to charge a thing for this. That's just who Dwayne is, right?
Yeah, that's Dwayne and Tourney X for sure. That's why we continue to stick with him year after year. And not only is it such a great product, but the customer support from Dwayne as well. And not only is he there about his product, but he's there for you as a person too, and a friend. Yeah. And so it didn't surprise me at all whenever Dwayne said that. I've almost come to expect it from him. He's such a good guy.
Good stuff. Have you met Dwayne before, Jay?
I have. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I mean, Josh couldn't have said it any better, And that goes with all of the kayak community. Is just it is a big family,
So let's talk about those guys real quick, Ben. So when I was doing research a couple years ago, when I was leaving the boat world behind and we were deciding to go 2 feet into the deep end of the pool on this kayak game, we jumped in, and one of the things that I came across was Moyak. The reason how I found them was very simple. Number one, I love the Ozarks. I fell in love with Missouri. Fishing with the FLW, I was coming out of Minnesota, driving all the way to the Ozarks to fish down there. And Missouri just has always for some reason, when I enter into that state, I feel like I'm home. I love it out there. I love the people around there. And so when I was looking in the kayak game, I'm like, well, what does the Ozark have to offer? And I saw a few, but when I came across Moyak, when I saw that group there, and I'm like, dude, these are some straight killers in here. I'm looking, I'm checking out some resumes and I'm like, look, iron sharpens iron. So if I want to, go in and fish against some of the best, this is the group. What I didn't realize until a few months later was just how much of a big family Moyak is. And just seeing that piece there, and it's not by mistake that the same guy that runs the All American is the guy that runs Moyak as well. And so I started piecing all these things together. But what are these Moyak guys? I mean, you're part of the Moyak crew out there, brother. I mean, what has that been like? Fishing with those guys and now seeing the way they just.
Well, it's amazing, but don't let them kid you. Some of them are really good fishermen.
Hell yeah, they are.
And that's what it's kind of. I say it's always a joke, but I've told Josh for years now, not just a few times, but years. I said, I'm 56 years old and I've never won a trophy. And I told Josh, I said, that's my goal. It may seem goofy to some, but that's been one of the drivers behind me pushing. But then you got a lot of people in that Moyak club, like Josh is the big brother, and some hammers like Chad Davison is just amazing, and he's a guy that's not afraid. Hey, come. I've got an extra bait. Come over here. This is what I'm using, and that's the type of people. And Jared and I could go. Foss now and the guys from Everhart's and the Feel Free Kayaks, but the list is so long of people that are just great human beings that love each other.
And make no mistake, these guys are killers. I mean, they are just hooks in that group out there. Some of the knowledge and the way it's easy to not think about it because they make it look so dang easy to them. But you look at where they fish, when they fish, and everywhere they go. I say this before, winning a tournament is a special, special thing. And it takes a perfect storm to come together. But I've been in this game long enough to tell you that what impresses me is the consistency. When I see that an angler can go all around the country in many different bodies of water and their name is always up at the top range, I'm like, now that is the part that's impressive, right? And dude, Moyak is cluttered with dudes like that and men and women like that can get around and do that kind of stuff. So
at the same time, though, every single one of those guys that are that good, anybody can approach them and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Or "Can I go fishing with you?" And they would take you with them in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Without even. If they're on a good pattern for a tournament and you're their direct competition, they'll tell you what to use. I mean, everybody shares information. They'll go out together. They'll help each other. And at the same time, they're going to kick some serious butt, but they're friendly about it at the same time. So, all those big hammers are also guys with big hearts too.
Dudes, they smile when they take your lunch money. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
I've given quite a few lunches away.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
It's okay. And it's not about the money. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about the trophy. It's for me. It's getting out there, having that freedom and the friendship and the caring and the hugs. I like the hugs, but yeah, it's wonderful.
That's awesome stuff, man. That is super cool. I'm excited to see how this continues to move around. We got word Marty Hughes is working on something that's very similar to a program that we were going to unveil with the All-American for this next season. A little bit different, but in the same vein. So I'm excited to let him make that announcement. That's we won't take any thunder away from that. So that's a cool thing. Marty Hughes, OG in the business. He and Josh. I mean, these guys have been doing this stuff since like dirt was invented.
Marty was doing it before I was born.
Oh, you're trying to claim that you're that young, are you?
No, that Marty's that old.
Got it.
No,
Oh,
he's a wonderful. Yeah, he's a wonderful friend. Marty is a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Marty, I came across Marty at Wilson Lake last year, and didn't know who the guy was from Adam, and I had questions about his cool camper that he had. I wanted to, because I was
Yeah,
considering, and I was like, hey, mind if I ask you a couple questions? And we start chatting this and this, and yeah, before I knew it, I'm taking in all this, kayak jack. I'm figuring all that. So I go back to the hotel later and I look him up, and I'm like, holy crap, that's Marty Hughes. I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy he just talked to me. He didn't know who I was. I was just another guy in a campsite across the way from him, and we just started yakking, and he was super super friendly. Yeah, I knew Marty was going to be a good guy to get to know for sure, though. It's
absolutely. And he challenges himself, and that's the thing. And that's what I love about him. It's not just me challenging myself, but I, I, I think this year he says, "Look, it's 2023, and I want to catch 2023 bass." And I think the last time I looked, he was over 2,000 bass.
yeah.
And that's a lot of fish.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
So
lot of freaking Nico rigging. I'll tell you that.
now you gave his secret away.
Oh, it's no secret.
Uh,
He'll throw a Nico rig in a river. It don't matter. Man. He'll throw it
Right.
anywhere, and he'll catch fish doing it. That's the thing, man.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you find what works. Why not? So, Jay, if you had your fishing style, what would you say was your go-to? Were you a finesse guy? Are you a power fisherman? Kind of a variety? What would you call yourself?
Yeah, I'd say variety, and it really depends on the lake. I've never, up until our few trips that we had in Wisconsin, I was never a big frog fisherman. But I love the top water in the morning. Mornings times it's relaxing. Of course, for me, it's a challenge getting out there. It takes a few hours for all your meds to kick in, but I love that top water. And if I'm in some Missouri lakes, I like the square bills and Ned rigs.
Nice.
And I do have a little bit of a benefit because I do like the shaky head, and I just throw it out there and let my hand do the work. It does what it wants anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah, you don't have to worry about repeating cadence on that, right? I mean,
That's
it's
it.
it's got it covered.
Yeah, just go.
How long, if you don't mind me asking some of this, for my lack of knowledge, when did you first realize that Parkinson's was there and that you were starting to kind of battle with that?
Yeah, and that's the thing with it started around 2016.
Wow.
With just a finger twitching, and if you watch any of the Michael J. Fox stuff, and that's how it happens is just you got one finger that starts twitching, and at first, believe it or not, unfortunately, we talk about our medical in our healthcare system is horrible, but I went to my primary doctor and he says, "Oh, it's you're shaking because you're not eating right," and I didn't. Of course, I'm going to eat a burger and may go 13 hours without eating again. But no, the physicians, you tell the physicians. A lot of physicians aren't trained what to look for. There's no medical test for Parkinson's.
Wow.
You can take there's a test called a DTAT test, and they can do CAT scans and different things. But there's you can't just do a blood test or an MRI and it shows up. So for the first couple of years, it started, I remember the date, it was September 9th on 2016 is when it kind of started. And then it would go away for a few weeks, but then it would come back. And, Around 2018, it started every day.
Damn.
A twitch or shaking the hand. And it just progressed from there. But I think for me, the key is staying active, challenging myself. Unfortunately, the last 3 or so weeks after getting told about the wheelchair, other than this week, I wasn't out of the house. It's like I use a cane, but now it's getting to where I don't have that freedom or independence. I can still drive, thankfully. At least the doctor says I can. My wife says I can't drive worth shit. For cussing, but
every wife thinks that.
Yeah, for sure. And around the house, I've done a lot of things to make it better. Like I say, the tape on the floor, and I have a cane in 3 of the rooms in the house in case I get somewhere and it's like, something's not feeling right, So
right.
But yeah, it's around 2016. But I for the last, I'd say. This year it's gotten worse, so I was battling it, medications, and unfortunately, seems like every time I go to the doctor, if I'm shaking worse, they give me more meds. Like I have 43 pills a day, man. My stomach is killing me.
No kidding. And at some point you got to think, well, when the hell are we going to get out of the dark ages with just throwing more pharmaceuticals at it? There's got to be, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, brother, but everything becomes so important, right? I mean, sleep, nutrition, mobility, muscle, stretching and mobility, things. Everything starts to become so very important at a heightened level for you right now, just to make sure that we can maximize the day. Am I right in that assumption?
Yeah, someone, who is having 5 back surgeries and implants, I do take, I get that pain pill every once in a while. But, one of the worst things is that, you get used to the shaking eventually, just eat with a spoon or do things differently. But the problem is the rigidity. The stiffness, the muscle, muscles in my shoulders cramp severely, and it's like I recently, about 6 months ago, bought a massage chair, and that has helped. That's helped tremendously, But you start losing that freedom.
Yeah. And that's, the support structure, right? We talk about it all the time. In my case, there's no way this nonprofit doesn't exist without my wife. She has put, this family on her back so that, I can go chase this nonprofit work around and try to do things. And you've talked, and you're and it's a joking thing, but man, it sounds like I can tell 100% your wife is a pillar, in your life, and
sure.
the contribution and the fact that she gives you crap like that is going to keep you on your toes, man. She's not going to let you relax. I love that.
My wife and I, we are best friends. My wife's not with me, so I can say it on.
Right.
She's on Social Security disability. She suffers from severe rheumatoid arthritis, and it's had both wrists fused and both knees replaced.
Oh my gracious!
Pins in her feet, and But we support each other, and that's the thing. But it's also tough for me because, I feel like I'm the man. I need to be strong and not let her see me struggle or be upset, and that's why the kayak community or sharing, sharing the story, it does help. It does. It took many years to get through to where I could talk about it.
Right.
The loss of seeing my father take himself, and Parkinson's is just one more thing, So,
I myself, admittedly, am not a very traditional religious individual. I am spiritual in the fact that I do believe there are forces in this universe that are at work that are beyond our understanding. I 100% believe that. I believe I've seen proof of it. But there's a saying out there, that people are only given the struggles that they can handle. I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure, a verse. But, I sit back and look at this and go, good night. I mean, the strength that you have, sir, what you've had to, encounter and endure, what you're currently working with, and the fact that you and your wife together, have your challenges that you're working with here. It stamps even more the importance, in my opinion, for us to take care of, family out there. And you are family. We're, one big kayak community, and the people that you know. So yeah, you are an unbelievable, and make no mistake, dude, it's not what you do day in and day out that makes you a man. You are every bit of a man. Take it from one dude to another. You have set the bar, and the rest of us could be so lucky if we could get to about half of where you're at, man. That is, yeah. So don't you sweat that whatsoever. We all got our challenges, and you're still going to be able to take care of so many other areas there that others can't even begin to. So that is incredible stuff, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah. It's a little bit.
This might be, I'm going to say it right now, this might be the most impactful in 2.5 years of doing the podcast. This is probably going to go down as one of the most impactful and one of the best episodes that we have ever put together. I have no problem saying, and I've had some amazing guests come on here that I am very grateful for, but this one, from holy Moses, man, I had no idea. This is, I'm honored that you would come on here and share this kind of stuff with us, dude. Thank you so much, Jay.
I mean, I can't say that thanks enough to everyone. It's scary, for sure. It's scary, and it's like, you look at the cost of this medical equipment these days, and I was talking to a gentleman, and he says, "Well, my son's chair was $42,000." It's like,
God,
how do they think somebody can afford that? But yeah, I couldn't do it without people like Josh and you, and that pat on the shoulder saying, hell, you did good.
Dude, you got one big hug coming from me when we see each other. I promise you that. When is so you're going to be, probably you've got stuff going on here. Josh, when is the next time our paths are going to cross?
With Jay?
Yeah.
Probably in September when we try to hook him up with his chair.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sometime during then. I mean.
Okay. Well,
that's a good question.
Yeah, let's keep it on the radar there, because dude, you got one big hug coming from me, man.
I appreciate it,
and I'll hug you for Josh. Don't worry.
You dang Marines.
That's right. That's right. I was just talking last night with a bunch of the guys. We had our board meeting for the Romans Warrior Foundation, and that's all Marines. I am a Marine magnet. Everywhere I go, I run into more and more. And they're the least, the few, the proud, right? There's the least number of those guys running around, but for some reason, I find them, and I end up working with them. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a big heart. It's a big heart.
There's something that I've always said this about Marines that I have learned, and that is the serving others. This is something that if they didn't have it before they went in, they were taught this, and it was inbred in and just branded in their skull that it goes beyond just service in the military. When they get out, they still end up serving others. It's not by just happenstance. That's a Marine. They take care of their communities. They take care of their families, man.
They do a pretty good job of programming you in boot camp.
Yep. Josh, seriously, man, just the way you've used the stage for fishing for this, hats off, brother. You were teaching me and showing more folks the way of what we can do with our sport, beyond trophies, beyond other areas. This is what kayak fishing can do. This is what a national series can bring the horsepower to bear on. So let's I just kudos to you, brother, for being the ringleader here and putting all this whole thing together.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. I definitely could, that stress of hurry up and sell the kayak to get enough to buy a chair that's what I told Josh. I said, my gosh, the more I talk to these people, the more this chair is going to be. And I completely forgot about the lift for the truck. I mean, I can still muscle it in there and throw it in the back for now and worry about the lift later. But it's again, I said it a few times. Our medical healthcare is horrible. It's horrible.
Well, this isn't going to be the last. Let's get this thing handled together, and then who knows, man? You got a lot of people out there that are still going to be watching, and we got a whole season coming up next year. Who knows what we can put together there, and what kind of things can come on.
For sure.
Tell you what, gentlemen, we'll go ahead and get this thing wrapped up here. I know this won't be the last time, Jay, we have you on here. We're going to be making this a good deal that we come back and visit with you as time goes on. Who knows? Maybe for a couple of these events, maybe having you come on the podcast and be a co-host with us would be an awesome deal, man. Where we'll interview a couple of these guys, that go out there and snatch up those trophies and such. That would be a cool deal.
Absolutely, and that's what I told Josh. I don't want to give up with the tournaments yet. It's maybe I go out there at 9-10 o'clock in the morning. I'm still doing it, but if anything, maybe I can judge fish and still come into to the awards and hand out the trophies and show my good side with my Angelina Jolie lip. But give out a few hugs. But I want to still. If I'm done, I'm done. If I can't fish, can't fish. But I'm not leaving this family. This family is meant too much to me. For sure.
That's awesome.
We mean a lot to us too, buddy.
Man, that's from definitely the TPO Romans Warrior Foundation. We got your six, brother. Any way we can help, we're going to continue to help. We'll right now it's one of those things where we'll continue to spread the word and do what we can on that side there. And as our strength improves, who knows what is coming down the line there, what we might be able to do to try to assist even maybe on a bigger level there. I'll definitely get this on the brains of the powers that be, and we'll start cranking ours. But yeah, you're never alone, Jay. Just know that you are never, ever, ever alone. You ever need anything, you got my number.
I appreciate that.
You got Josh. You got everybody.
Yeah, like everybody, I'm not going to say I don't feel alone sometimes, but I in my heart, I know. Look, if I can make it through all this crap in the past, I can, make it to tomorrow and be there to help somebody else. Stay strong for the wife, but
you got it.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks been a crybaby, but she hasn't seen me crying. But it's like hell. I'm a girly man, lately.
No.
But no, I really appreciate this. It touches my heart. Everybody's coming together, and reach out to other, if you can't help, whatever, reach out to your fellow brothers and sisters, and hell, just listen to them sometimes. It's amazing the stories that I listen to, and it's like, crap, how did you make it through that? And,
that's one of the keys is, serve others. When you start feeling like things are alone, or maybe that you got don't have a whole lot of options, one of the best things to do is, go help somebody, go listen to somebody. That's the first thing to start with there, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, oh shit, maybe this isn't as these guys are getting through it. These guys are doing this with their situation. You find strength in that, man. That's for sure.
That's correct.
All right, folks. Well, listen, get out to Tourney X. Check out the All-American Kayak Series page. You'll find all the information there. This is a nationwide tournament. Is that right, Josh? We've opened this up to the entire nation?
That's right. It's nationwide. Anybody can sign up, and it's MLF style to where every fish counts. So there's a 12-inch minimum, but you can go out and catch 100 fish if you want. And it should be a fun tournament to fish, as well as helping Jay. It should be a really fun time.
And this is September 10th. That's the date of it. Nationwide.
Correct. That's right.
That's a Sunday, if memory serves.
It's a Sunday. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Very, very cool. So you guys at the Mined Lands that are coming down to that will all be fishing down there in Mined Lands, stay an extra day, man, and get right back out there and just hammer on them.
Yeah, that'd be a good place to do it for sure. There's a lot of fish in there.
That's awesome. That is so cool. All right, folks. Well, listen, don't forget, smash that subscribe button. We can't thank you enough for watching this pre-recorded video that we have here. And tune into the All-American Kayak Series. We got some cool stuff coming down the pike. True Patriot Outfitters, Romans Warrior Foundation. We're always on the mission out there trying to do what we can. Jay, again, from all of us, we love you, brother. Thank you so much for taking some time, and I'm looking forward to getting you back here very soon, back on the podcast again.
Anytime. I appreciate it, and I'm honored for having me on. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Josh, thank you, man. Thank you for being the founder of the Feast and bringing all this kind of stuff together. This is good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, folks. Remember, likes, follows, those are huge things for us. Gentlemen, stay with me after we roll out of this, and we'll wrap this up. As always, folks, tie lines. Be safe.